Hello, it's a Sinister Gambino here with a new stream. And in the stream, I'm going to be going over the event week for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. So starting off on the title, there's 2 times money, at least on biker cells. I don't know if it includes RP as well, but decided to just put money on the title because I did that when I did weed cells. I just put money. Also, yeah, onto my spectators, 2 times money RP as well on class contracts and transform races. And the 1 discount I put in the highlights for the event week highlights due to the character limits, the Master Control Terminal. And I actually want to buy one, why not? This doesn't have to do with the actual heist itself, so I might as well. Especially if it encourages me to play the game a lot more, which I feel it will. So yeah, I bought myself a Master Control Terminal. Also, this game spawning right next to Jimbo's fucking gay ass, that's for fucking sure. So right now I'm going to be going for the podium vehicle, of course. I do my typical flyby to the casino. But yeah, podium vehicle for this week is a Coil Cyclone, which I'm very positive is an electric vehicle, so that basically means it's going to accelerate in terms of acceleration. So its strong suit's going to be acceleration, I'm pretty sure, because of it being an electric car, meaning it gets to its top speed faster. I believe I used to describe it as it means the top speed's like really good, but it just means it gets to top speed pretty fast. Doesn't mean it's a very good top speed, it just means it gets to it like very fast. Hopefully that's finally the final stretch to get to the casino there. The coil cycle here apparently is like a bluish car. It's pretty interesting. And it also seems to come with a livery, so that's pretty cool. Of course I get RP, goddammit. It's like a fourth of the fucking wheel, I get it, but come on man, money would have been a lot better, especially because I just spent on the Master Control Terminal. I'm not saying it's not a worthy investment, of course it will be a very worthy investment. It could hella get me my money back really easily, still. But yeah, anyways, showing off the price of the coil cyclone. And it might also be a like hint at some of the discounts that I'll be discussing, of course. This coil cyclone is $1,890,000, so you'll be saving about $1.9 million. In fact, if you put the livery into account, you will be saving over $1,900,000 on this vehicle. And like I mentioned before, it's an electric vehicle, meaning that its acceleration is basically very good, which means that it gets to its top speed really quickly. Doesn't mean its top speed is very good necessarily, but it at least means it'll get to its top speed relatively quickly. I don't look at the like stats on the like website page. From what I hear, those aren't very accurate, but yeah, whatever. Now to show off the premium race and then the time trials. So premium race for this week is taking off for the super class. So top few vehicles for super class would be from the greatest to least. I'll be listing them. It would be the Progen Emirates, I believe, is above the Krieger for lap time at least, but I think they swap places in top speed. So it would go Progen Emirates, the Benefactor Krieger. Then I believe after the Benefactor Krieger would be the S80RR from the previous DLC. In fact, the first three options are from the previous DLC. And then you could even go as far back as the Wagner still, I believe, for 4th place. Those are kind of the best few options, at least for lap time, but top speed could be kind of comparable as well. But yeah, refer to Ruffy 1322 for exact like lap times and top speeds on those vehicles I mentioned. He does really great videos on like lap times and top speeds of pretty much every vehicle in the game. Time trial for the event week is coast to coast. I assume this one has a lot of straightaways, of course, given the location and whatnot, so top speed would probably be the best bet. And basically for regular time trials, your best options are going to be supers, cars, and motorcycles. So yeah, for supercars, I already mentioned the best few options. I'm just going to go right to motorcycles. Best few options for motorcycles, from greatest to least, would be the Nagasaki Shotaro. And that one's really good, of course, because it corners really well. And yeah, factually, it's the best, like, non-rocket powered, like, vehicle in the motorcycle class for lap time and top speed. And for that vehicle, by the way, you can lean forward or you can lean backwards with the stick for the maximum, like, speed. So you don't have to do a wheelie with that vehicle to get the highest speed. You can also do it forward with the stick. I believe it's the only vehicle that works in that way. Second vehicle, like beneath that, would be the Hakchao Drag. And that one you have to lean forward with the stick, from what I know, to get the best like speed possible, since it's a drag motorcycle, can't really wheelie and whatnot. The only other one I think that works like that is a Nightblade, but that one's not really competitive. Just bringing it up for the sakes of mentioning it. So if you use the hostile drag, do keep in mind you will have to lean forward with the stick for the best possible speed. And for much cheaper options than like around $1 million and over $2 million, there's the Body 801 and the Body 801 and the Akuma, which are like $10,000 motorcycles in the game. Those are still like 3rd and 4th place, I'm pretty sure. And that would pretty much be for both lap time and top speed. So those are the best speed options for the motorcyclist class. And RC Bandito time trial for the week is Vespucci Canals. And yeah, I don't have a time trial guide on this one yet. I haven't really made one in a while, because they're kind of boring to make and whatnot, to be honest. But yeah, I'm very certain this one has a lot of like sharp turns and stuff, so that's probably going to be something that you'll want to keep in mind. Just because it's in these canals, it's probably have a lot of turns and stuff. And then again, that might be pretty typical for just about any RC Bandito time trial. But I feel especially this one would. Also, before I go on any further, I want to test my microphone, make sure it's like showing audio, make sure it's like, yeah, make sure that audio is playing. I mean, alright, yeah, it's good. But yeah, only money opportunity that's going to be in the pause menu for this event week is going to be transform races. Those are the only ones you're going to find right in the pause menu. The rest of them you have to find through other methods. But yeah, any that have transform in front in the stunt race category will have 2 times money RP, in case you want to know if it was in regular like land races or stunt races. It's in the stunt race category. And yeah, a big thing to know with the transform races, obviously, is you'll want a custom version of as many of these vehicles as possible if you want to be competitive in the transform races. You'll want to have custom versions of any vehicle that are used in these for the best competitivity. Obviously, there's certain vehicles that just can't be customized, so anyone's going to be just as good in those ones. But if you're big on transform races, definitely try to go for like custom versions of all the vehicles in these transform races for the best outcomes. And yes, by the way, it's only Rockstar created transform races. They pretty much never do like player created races on double money RP anymore like they did years back or whatever. But transform races, I would say, is the worst money opportunity for this event week. So to be honest, I wouldn't even bother with transform races at all. It's definitely the worst of the options for double money for this personal event week, of course. Clubhouse contracts. Not going to go to the clubhouse to show them off. But it kind of depends on the contract, I'm pretty sure, for if they're good for making money or not. So certain ones are going to be really good for money, other ones not. I believe Torch, I think, is a kind of good one. There's, I believe, Cracked, but that one I don't think is all that good. There's like Jailbreak, which I think is a pretty good one when you drive like a prison bus somewhere, etc., etc. You'll basically want to do clubhouse contracts as much as possible this event week, in addition to biker cell missions, Because with the biker businesses, all you have to do is buy like one thing of supplies, and it's basically will all produce in probably 2 to 3 hours. I would assume it would pretty much be the same time that a bunker takes when you have it fully upgraded. So obviously if you don't have it fully upgraded, it's going to take longer than 2 or 3 hours, I believe, and you're not going to get as much money out of it. But even though you might not think much of it, it's much more efficient to buy supplies for the biker businesses, because the money you pay to get the supplies you can make in other means within the 2 or 3 hours. So in that time you should do 2 times 1 ERP clubhouse contracts as much as possible. And once those 2 or 3 hours pass, check your businesses, see if they're done. The unfortunate thing about the biker businesses though is they're not really too solo friendly. Like even if you buy one thing of supplies, you're most likely going to have multiple vehicles, and you'll probably want at least one other person to help sell. So I recommend at least having one friend if you want to like sell biker businesses. But yeah, that's the one unfortunate thing is because of like the post-op vans and whatnot, it makes it very hard to do it solo. Because if you buy a whole thing of supplies, with a lot of the businesses and the biker businesses, pretty much guaranteed to be multiple vehicles. It's probably like 1 or 2 that's not guaranteed to be like more than 1 vehicle, but still, it's not the most efficient thing to do for biker businesses. But yeah, buying supplies is, regardless, I would say, is better than sourcing supplies, whether you don't play with friends or not. It's just a lot better of a strategy, of course, if you have a friend that you play with typically. So that's the strategy for the event weeks, just basically buy supplies and then like check back on it every 2 to 3 hours, assuming you have a maxed out like business upgrade wise. Not including security, I mean like staff and equipment. And while you wait that time, do as much clubhouse contracts as possible. And transform races you can just ignore unless you want to do something other than clubhouse contracts, but still want to do money events in the event week. So yeah, gives enough good advice on the stuff, of course. And also, rip to the fucking duffel bag sell missions. Yeah, that's something I haven't mentioned ever on the channel yet, is that they took out the duffel bag sell missions, which I would say is the most solo friendly it gets for sell missions, since you can pretty much be in any vehicle. You can probably even go in like in a Kula and hide your duffel bags from being on the map. But yeah, sadly they took it out with the latest DLC due to a bug with them, and they haven't returned it yet. So, if they even fucking come back with the duffel bag sell mission, that is, which I would sure hope so. I haven't even watched a professional's video on the duffel bag situation. I probably should, except it's a very interesting video. Or maybe he's even made more than one, but same thing regardless. So that's pretty much all to say about the money opportunities and like time trials and premium race. And also the podium vehicle. So yeah, pretty much the last thing is the last like few discounts. As I showed off earlier, there's 30% off the Master Control Terminal and Arcade, which is definitely a very worthy discount to take advantage of. It's basically the Terabyte, but it's better, I would say. Terabyte does have advantages over the Master Control Terminal, don't get me wrong, because it's still like other businesses where you're stuck in like one location for having to operate your businesses. So I would say for sourcing, the Terabyte is still like better off than the Master Control Terminal, because you'd still have to go on a property with the Master Control Terminal to source. But for buying supplies, you can't do that in the Terabyte. You can only do that in the Master Control Terminal. And it's much better than going to all your multiple different businesses like you had to in the past. So yeah, definitely very worthy to get the Master Control Terminal for like 1.2 mil, as I showed off earlier. Very good. 30% off only saves like 500k, but still, they already gave 500k. Not to mention like last week, and it's still going on for the rest of this month if you haven't got it yet. So yeah, very worthy discount, I would say, to take advantage of. And hopefully I explained the big differences between the Terabyte and the Master Control Terminal. They're pretty different things, I would say, for how it helps in businesses. So I would say both are still very worth it. The Master Control Terminal, I would say, didn't really make the Terabyte obsolete much at all. Also, I did want to check out the clothing store, actually. I do want to check out the clothing store, because I think I heard the fucking green and purple alien outfits are free when it came to Test 2. I didn't see any mention of it on the newswire, but I want to see if it's fucking true. And also, I don't know where the fuck they would be, so bear with me. I'm assuming it would be in the Arena Wars stuff, I don't know.
Looking for stuff.
Oh shit. They are free right now. So yes, Rockstar are embracing the freaking green and purple alien wars, apparently. I thought that shit was a fucking joke, but apparently it's actually fucking real, I guess. That was some fucking meme bullshit or something. So even without having the trade price unlocked, it's literally free. I'm getting them both, of course.
What?
I would rather go purple. I wasn't going to get alien suit, but because they're free, I might as well. Oh shit. Nice. The illumination effects. That's cool. Kind of feel bad for people who actually bought those fucking suits. Especially for people who didn't have the trade prices. It's probably so much money it was before, I bet. Just for them to make it free for the 1 week. So suck it to all you idiots who fucking bought this shit before it became free. And yeah, I'm kidding, I don't give a shit for those people. And those people want to embrace that kind of meme shit fucking so early on, they deserve to get screwed with the price. That might be a tiny bit too far, but whatever. But yeah, I'm a purple nigga for sure.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm not sure which one's more popular, if there is one. But yeah, I chose purple because I resonated with the, like, balls. And Grove Street sucks, especially in this fucking game. Grove Street was nowhere near as strong as it was in San Andreas, I would say. And their own fucking street was taken over by the fucking ballas in the game. Like, literally, so why be a green alien? I guess you could compare it to, like, Republican Space Rangers, but I would rather think of it as, like, the Grove and ballas, but in alien suits. So yeah, you can get the green and purple alien suits, by the way, for free, believe it or not. I don't think that's something that's mentioned on the newswire at all. So I did want to show that off. And I do believe there's also like a free pull queue as well in ammunition, but that's only pretty much useful if you don't have the weapon, and even then it doesn't save that much money. So I think there are free like pull queues as well in like ammunition. I think those were the free things I noticed on Test 2 when you mentioned the event week details that I don't think are mentioned at all on the newswire. Very cool for them to embrace this shit though, even if I kind of ranted about it. Like, I honestly kind of think that kind of shit's stupid, but it's pretty fun when Rockstar themselves embrace it, I guess. If that makes any sense. Yeah, to all the people who bought this shit before it became free, you got fucking screwed. Oh shit, I thought I had the, like, I thought I had the finger emote, but I gotta change it to cutthroat whenever I actually know. Because it reminds me of Reddit Online, of course. Whatever, point still stands. And aside for the Master Control Terminal, by the way, there's no discounts at all in relation to property stuff. Only thing relating to properties at all on discount is 30% off the Master Control Terminal. I think all the vehicle discounts for this week are on Legendary, actually. And that's not including Twitch Prime discounts. One of those are on Legendary, but another's on San Andreas, but they're repeat from last week. So I'll kind of discuss them, I believe, in this one, but I mainly discussed them in the previous one. But yeah, starting off here, we have 30% off the Benefactor Krieger. So instead of being in the high 2 million range, it's in the low 2 million range. So that's about $900,000 in savings. And for one of the most top tier supercars in the game right now, it's definitely very worth it. I already discussed this enough, I would say, when talking about the time trials and the premium race. But still, I made enough a point that it's a very good vehicle. Also, I didn't mention what the premium race, but I believe it changes a couple of times. So that might not be the premium race for the whole event week, but just for like a day or so. So yeah, a very good vehicle for races and time trials. And kind of maybe in generally for getting from point A to point B. The Pegasi Tauros. The Pegasi Tauros is 35% off. And this vehicle is basically top tier for the SUV class. It's basically the number one vehicle in the SUV class, which is definitely a given, I would say, because I mean, it's literally a Lamborghini SUV, I'm pretty sure. So obviously it's going to be the number one, like, vehicle in SUV class for this game, since there's not really any other kind of SUV like that in this game, where it's all, like, super sporty, I would say. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is still number one in lap time and top speed, and I believe it's released in the previous DLC. But regardless, it's the... Oh wait, no, this is Arena War, I believe. But yeah, it's number one for SUVs in both lap time and top speed. No doubt on that. So, very good vehicle. Not to mention, it's very affordable normally, but at 35% off, it sweetens the deal of the vehicle even more, obviously. So, two very good ones so far. As for the Pegasi Tempesta, this has been pretty outclassed, I would say, for the years. Unlike the previous couple vehicles, which are very top tier in the game at the moment. 2 times dollar. The Newswire is released already, so I would just refer to the Rockstar Newswire. But if you're talking about money opportunities, all of them are mentioned on the title and this is Spectator.
Oh, hello there. How you doing today?
So if you mean money opportunities, it's the biker sales, clubhouse contracts, and transform races. There's nothing more than that. But yeah, Tempesta for the price is a pretty average vehicle, but it's relatively outclassed. So not a very worthy vehicle anymore in the game, I would say. Plus it's been a Twitch Prime discount before. Another very good discount here actually is the Nagasaki Shotaro. Now this one you do have to play like one match of Deadline. You do have to play a match of Deadline. You get this on the website. So if for some reason you haven't done that before, it won't be on this website. And you'll still have to play a match of Deadline, but regardless. The Shotaro is actually 40% off, being the biggest discount by far. Also, actually, the Tempesto was 40% off. So instead of being like in the low 2 mil range, it's in like the low to mid 1 mil range, which is much better for sure. And as I mentioned when I was going over the regular time trial, it's number 1 in its class, besides for like rocket-powered vehicles. But you can't use rocket-powered vehicles anymore in time trial, so it's essentially like the number 1 time trial vehicle in the game, and number 1 for the motorcycles class for racing. Whenever you can't use a rocket-powered vehicle, which is almost every single time. So yeah, very worthy discount there. And like I mentioned, you can get the best speed with this vehicle by leaning forward or backwards with the stick. It's the only motorcycle that works like that, I'm pretty sure. Other ones you either have to lean forward or backwards. That one you can do with both for the best possible speed. So there should only be one more discount, I'm pretty sure, for this event week, in terms of everybody's discounts. Twitch Prime discounts are just the same as the last event week, by the way, though. And once again, I do want to mention, actually, on the P-Fister 811, I did mention last week that I was pretty sure that was the, like, top speed king of the superclass. And I was correct on that. I was going off of what I remembered. I did remember correctly that indeed the P-Fister 811 for 80% off on the Twitch Prime discount for last week and this week. This will be the last week, by the way. That it is the king of top speed for the superclass. And that's not putting into account rocket-powered vehicles, which even if you do, I think it's only the Vigilante that tops it. From what I remember watching on Bruffy 1322. So for a regular supercar, this is the number 1 for top speed. So a very worthy Twitch Prime discount once again. Like I mentioned last week, but I went off of memory that time. I decided to watch Bruffy 1322 to confirm my suspicions, and yes, it is indeed the top speed king. So if you don't take advantage of the Twitch Prime discount of the P-Fister 811, what are you doing? And final discount for this event week that everybody has is the Principe Electro. And yes, there's something pretty unique about this motorcycle. This motorcycle has what's called a curves boost. However, I'm pretty sure the curves boost, the reason it kind of has it is because it's pretty terrible, like, without the curves boost. So yes, it's a kind of nice gimmick that they've only done a couple times. I believe only the Principe Electro and the, like, there's one other motorcycle. Oh yeah, I believe it's the Vindicator and the Electro. They're the only 2 vehicles in the game with the curves boost. But basically, the more you brake, or the more you're not holding onto the accelerator, at least, the more, like, curves boost you get. So basically, it makes up for lost speed. So it's kind of a nice, unique kind of option on this vehicle. But it's also on the Vindicator, which came out, like, later than this, and might be a better option. I'm not sure. So if you don't have a curves boost motorcycle, it could be pretty cool to get one, but besides for that, it's not really very useful. Also, this will be more expensive if you have not done like the heist setup or whatever from the original heists, because they did introduce trade prices with those vehicles at some point. So it will be more expensive for you, by the way, if you have not done that. So that should be all 5 discounts for this event week, all on a legendary. 3 of them were really good discounts. This one and the Tempesta, they're relatively outclassed, I would say. But still, those 2 are also good in their own ways, like I mentioned. Also, Hijack Chameleon is a glitched up discount at the moment, so it's not actually on discount. And yeah, the other Twitch Prime discount, by the way, is that it costs a Drift 70. Though I do still stick with everything I said about that, so I'm not really going to talk about it anymore. I just wanted to confirm the fact that the 811 is indeed the top speed king of the super class, besides for like the Vigilante, which is rocket powered. So yeah, that was basically like all my recommendations for like the discounts, the money opportunities, all that stuff. So hopefully all that stuff at least helps somebody, which it kinda did, off of someone's comment or whatever. And once again, I don't think it's mentioned on the newswire, but the green and purple alien suits are indeed free. So do keep that in mind. That's something that a lot of people might even know. So if you want to join in on that shit, totally do it this 7 week, because they're free right now. Yeah, that's finally going to be it for the stream. There's nothing more to mention about the event week. So that's finally it for the stream. Hope you enjoyed.